Hello YouTube. I'm just gonna show off this computer, and I'm gonna do something a bit different this time. Usually I pop the cover and show you the inside and stuff first, if I do that at all. But this time I'm not gonna do that, because a lot of people aren't even interested in what's on the inside of the system. So, excuse focusing issues. It's trying to focus on the reflection off of the monitor and not actually the glass on the monitor, since there's nothing on the monitor right now. But it should right itself when I turn the computer on. Hopefully. And it's really dark. You can hardly see me. You can just see the reflection off of my hair. Alright. It's a Pentium 1 200 with MMX technology. Of course it's got MMX technology, because it always says that on it. 20 gig hard disk, 32 megs of RAM, and it's somehow running Windows 2000. Somehow. Like, it's running it quite well, actually, for such a low-spec system. Okay. There we go. That's a good sign. And everything, of course, is blown out. That should be fixed here in a little bit once the screen turns all white, because then it will be exposing more correctly. There we go. See, that looks great. I'm turning off camera auto exposure, but I've forgotten how to do that. So nice little scan line going down there real slow. Just now noticed that on the camera. I don't know if you can hear that hard disk, but hard disk is about 2 years older than I am. Still a tiny bit blown out, it looks like, but it seems to be exposing pretty well. And it's got a Microsoft serial mouse and an AT class keyboard attached to it. And the only reason I got a serial mouse connected, the motherboard has a PS2 port, but some idiot put it in a case that doesn't have a PS2 port slot, or hole, whatever you want to call it. Pretty dumb, right? I mean, who does that? Let me actually zoom it in a tiny bit more. Trying to zoom in as much as possible without really chopping anything off. That seems good. It is not linked to a domain. I could link it to a domain, because I do have an Active Directory server, but it's not hooked up at all. And this one's not hooked up to the internet, so not even on LAN. So give it a while, because it is an old Pentium 1, so it takes a little bit to really be very responsive. But I got Office 97 on here. I didn't even try 2000, because I thought 2000 would probably bog it down, because 2000 can very easily bog down, like, modern computers. Just, it wasn't optimized very well. Although 2003 is, well, XP is even worse, but 2003 is pretty good. And then I'm having one little issue. I don't know if when is it ever going to show the network connection status down here? The Ethernet cable isn't even plugged into the back of the system, and it's saying it's connected. There it is, see? I mouse over it. Come on. It thinks it's sent 63 packets, but it's received 0. So you know it's not working. But it for some reason thinks the cable's connected. 10 megabits per second. That's the max speed of the card. I don't know if my Kingston card is in the system or not. I think it is. But I mean, it doesn't really matter. And here, we'll just go ahead and open Word here. Word 97. I don't know if you heard that. Turn the volume up. Sure it's at a decent level. This thing is so slow once it first turns on. It gets better though. Here's the kitty. What's his name? I forgot what his name was. Scribble. He was before, or she, I'm sorry. She was before Lynx. I really think she's cuter, actually. Because, you know, Lynx was really cartoony. And Scribble? Origami Kitty. I mean, you can't beat an Origami Kitty. It's awesome. Actually, I think this is quite a bit bigger. Jeez. Okay, what else should I type in? Keyboard is like some no-name Chinese keyboard. Well, never mind. I think it has a name on here. Let me look. Lot. I think that's what it says. I can't really tell. But you know it's an old keyboard when it says designed for Windows 95 on it. First of all, how can you design a keyboard for anything? Second of all, Windows 95. And this is the first and only, well, I say the first and only. The keyboard that I got with my other Pentium 1 that broke, it had Windows keys and stuff on it, but half of the keys didn't work, so I'm not even considering it a keyboard. This is the first working keyboard I've had to have a Windows key on it. And it also has the context key on it. So, pretty cool. It's also, well, not the first keyboard, I'm sorry. The first AT class keyboard is what I meant to say. And we can just go ahead and save this, why not? And my cat's trying to get in the door, I think. I'll go let him in. Why not? Give me just a second. Okay, maybe he wasn't trying to get in the door, and that was something else. Whatever. Anyway. Just go and open that document again. Why not, right? Here it is. And there we go. Here we are. And then we can delete this because we don't really need it. actually has a DVD RAM drive in it, but that's only because its other optical drive, while it was rated 32 times max, I don't think it was really going that fast for some reason. And in all, that drive, I think part of the reason it was being slow, the drive seemed to be wearing out and was occasionally just rereading a disc. Even though it was in the process of doing something, it would just like stop and reread the same spot on the disc. And it had some other weird issues occasionally. But the one I have in it is 48 times. I don't even know if the system can handle that much. And the system, I mean, it runs pretty well, actually. I don't have a lot on it. I got 7-zip, which, just so you know, the newest version of 7-zip will run on Windows 2000. I got the Microsoft Entertainment Pack. Gummit, another gnat. There have been, I think I've killed 3 of those already. Jizzball. There we go. This is a newer version of Jizzball because I'm pretty dang sure that the version I have on floppy disk is not, or does not have these sounds. That was an interesting sound. 3 balls now. Ah, dang it. The camera focusing because it looked like it was out of focus a second. That was weird. Okay. Ah, man. Whatever, right? No, I don't want to start in the game. Okay. So I played Jizzball for a while. And Action 3 doesn't work on the system. I tried it. And so now all that's left to do is play some Minesweeper, of course. Very, very important. Just clicking on a couple of random spaces. There we go. Okay, I've never seen that pattern before. That's weird. Well, okay. And that one's definitely... Pixel. What? Okay. My cat, I swear. Yay! Okay. 53 seconds, not too bad. That is that is such a weird pattern. Do you see that? I've never seen that before. Alright. So there's our game of Minesweeper. Like I said, not really anything else on the system. Just Internet Explorer 5. Which, of course, I can't really use right now. And that's pretty much it. Good old notepad. Although, let's go ahead and... Here's the Windows version information. If you just wanted to know that. And of course, I did register it to Team Miscellaneous to be funny. And speaking of Team Miscellaneous, I'm actually doing a pretty big focus shift to work on that right now. So just know that when I don't upload very many videos, I'm probably doing something else, such as working on Team Miscellaneous. Well, you know, the demonstration part of the video has gone on for long enough. Man, what the heck? It's not help. What am I doing right now? What did I do? Speaking of Team Miscellaneous, Michael, I believe, just now uploaded one to Team Miscellaneous. Either that or his personal channel, so go check that out. What is wrong with the taskbar, man? Why does it just want to butt in on our shutdown dialogue? It's rude. Anyway, actually, let's go ahead and take a look at something funny. Task Manager just goes insane sometimes. Like, I've never seen a system idle at more than 0. And I think that's just because of the old processor. And yeah, Michael just now said it is on Team Miscellaneous, so go check that out. Yay, Taskbar. Taskbar's not going nuts this time, so let's shut the thing down. Here we go. Of course, it is not, well, actually, it is an ACPI system, but it is also, at the same time, an AT class system. Like, it's a hybrid motherboard. It's really weird. Kind of cool. Because all you have to do to make it an ACPI class system is put an ATX power supply in it. That's all you have to do to make it an ACPI system. Although it only has partial APM support, so you can't use standby mode, but, you know, still would make it an ACPI system. And where is the power switch? There it is. Speakers make a hilarious noise every time I turn it off. Just okay, let's get that light on. Okay, so this is the system itself. It's got a turbo switch that does absolutely nothing. As you can see right there, I just pushed it and it just shoved itself down inside the case. And a case lock that thankfully is in the unlocked position. And a reset button that I don't know if it works or not. I've never actually used it. And then there's a physical power switch. Now this thing looks ridiculous and out of place because it's like a master power switch that would go on the back of a power supply, and it's on the front of the case. It just doesn't make very much sense, does it? But, you know, give it a break, right? And this is a non-branded LG drive. And I think the reason it's not branded is because it was in this IO Magic enclosure, and I think it came in it. So, and also it's not really it's not a good drive to use internally, because both digital and analog CD audio are reserved for something else. Like it says real big on it, audio reserved to do not use. Which I find very odd, but... And other than that, it does work internally. I've tested it. It works fine. And on the top of it, it doesn't actually have any sort of labeling. I don't know if I can find any identification anywhere on it. I don't remember if I looked or not. But, as you can tell, the front panel design is just like an LG drive. Why in the world does the camera not want to focus on anything? Just, it is an LG drive by design, and it sounds like one. So, actually, let's just stick the camera right here. Actually, let's stick it here. Let me actually get this chair out of the way. It seems heavy. Okay. Now we can take the computer apart. And let me just turn off the power strip up here so that the monitor doesn't freak out when I unplug it, because it does that every time. Plug the video. Oh, never mind. That Ethernet cable was plugged in, but it's not plugged into anything else. Serial mouse. I don't know if you can even see this, but there's the serial mouse. Keyboard and power. Okay. And there we go. Okay. Actually, wait, I forgot. It needs to be standing up for me to be able to get the door off, because it's one of these, like, unibody door things. As you can tell, I just shifted it right a tiny bit, and the whole thing is starting to come off. There we go. The entire inside of the computer is revealed with one door. I kind of miss computer cases like this. Although I don't miss micro towers like this, because they are absurdly small. I mean, it's just... you have to be flat out crazy to even try to work in one of these very much. Key lock. What? Key lock? I don't even see that. Key lock, what is that supposed to mean? Turbo switch. I don't even think there's a header on the board for the turbo switch. Certainly doesn't need to be one, because it's a Pentium 1. On the power LED, hard disk LED is plugged in, and it flickers when you first turn the system on, but then it never does anything else, which I find very strange. Here's the IBM DJNA something or other hard disk. It's actually what the DeskStar hard drives came from. Pretty sure. I actually had a GPX 70 Death Star paired with this thing in another computer originally, but of course, that thing died. Thankfully, after I took it out of the system. This one is still running strong, although it's limping a little bit, because it occasionally has weird issues. This is an AW64 Creative Sound Blaster. And this, is this a Kingston card I got? Yeah, it says Kingston real huge on it. Okay. And then this is a Trident Super VGA card. I don't have the actual model identification. That's what it is, and it's an American Megatrends AMI BIOS system, minus the graphical setup. I know, that's really weird. I've never seen that before. But it actually does not have the graphical setup program. It has the, quote, AMI Simple Setup Utility, which, by the way, is a total ripoff of the Award Setup Utility. By total ripoff, I mean same navigation, same layout, same everything. Like, I think they could have won a lawsuit for that. And then here's the AT power connector next to the ATX power connector that's not being used. As you can see there, that's all you need to do. Another oddity on this board I've never seen before. So there's the SIMs. It's using two 16 meg SIMs right now. Then there's two more slots. And then I don't know if that's RAM bus or DIMM slots, but regardless, modern RAM slots right next to SIMs. Pretty nifty, actually. It's not an Intel board, so it's probably not RAM bus, but TX2 PCI chipset. It's interesting. I just got a text. This fan ball bearing says on it. Well, just make that bad. Make the word ball the word bad, and you'd be more being more honest. And then there's the clock battery, which I think either the voltage is running low on it or there's something else wrong on the board that I haven't spotted yet. But the time doesn't advance while the system is off. Like, it keeps it, but it doesn't advance unless the system is running. It's really weird. So every time I turn it on, I just update the time, and while I'm using it, it keeps it. So, that's the Sound Blaster card that I took out of another computer and stuck in it. It came, oddly enough, even though the computer that Sound Blaster card, the AW64 was out of, was older than this, the newer computer had a Viber 16C in it. Like, that's not very good, and the CDN didn't work on it, so that's part of the reason I actually changed that one out. Although originally I had DOS on this thing, so it was a huge asset to have the OS64 instead of the Viber 16, because with the OS64, I can have wavetable MIDI. And with wavetable with wavetable MIDI, you get much better music in old DOS games. The only reason this hard drive isn't screwed in is because I can't get the hard drive to lower enough down in the bay for the screw holes to meet the case holes, which, I know, that's pretty dumb by design, but, you know, that hasn't rattled out yet, although it has shifted a huge amount. Like, this hole was at least in line with that when I first put it in there. That's absurd. But, I don't know, it can't rattle too far anyway. I forgot to bring this to your attention. You can focus on that? There we go. CSM Quality System. I don't know what that means. I don't know if that's a company or some sort of weird certification, but... Oh, and here's another funny thing. PowerPoint only. I don't exactly know who this... I don't know who this belonged to. I mean, I think I may remember, but, you know, name unspoken on camera. I don't know why PowerPoint only is written real huge on the slot bracket. Or not slot bracket, slot blank. I don't know what it's called anymore. And if you look between these ribbon cables right here, you can make out the header of a PS2 port. There you go, camera. You did a good job that time. But there it is. You can even see it in the keyboard port if you look hard enough. But it's there, you just can't use it. And, I actually haven't had very many problems with this thing yet. Although, the main thing I've had a problem with is that it will occasionally just not post. Like, it just fails to. Like, it doesn't even try. And then it will continue to not try unless I leave it be for like 30 minutes and come back later, and it will have magically revived itself. Sometimes after that happens, there will be a checksum failure in the CMOS, which, I don't know, it's just so weird. Like, I don't understand why it happens. But, oh, and one more oddity about the front of the case. Alright, yeah, you see two floppy disk drives there? No, that's a stinking slot blank designed to look like a floppy disk drive. Like, I can't open it at all. Like, I'm pushing really hard right now. This is the only real floppy disk drive. As you can see, there's nothing behind that. This is a floppy drive. But, I mean, really, what in the world? Like, why would you even put the extra money into making a fake floppy disk drive? Like that, I mean, that's insanity at its finest. You know, I'm starting to sound like UX2B Bill, just making up random figurative languages while on video, if you know what I mean. Well, a lot of them he hasn't made up, but some of them he has just made up on his own, and it's just been hilarious. But, yeah, that's pretty much all. If you watched the whole video, thanks for sticking around. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.